Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Martine Brisson, and today I want to talk a little bit about depression because it's kind of the time of the year where lots of people feel more depressed, especially this year. Maybe lack of the sun because it's been great for a little while. The lockdown. Um, or whatever. So the thing is, when we feel depressed, we human beings have a tendency to try to find a cause. Now, what? Now, if you say, "Oh, I feel depressed," people will automatically will ask you, "What makes you feel that way? What happened?" No. So some people will say, maybe a bad breakup, a breakup that you didn't expect, a breakup, events, thinking that something from the outside world will make you feel a certain way, or doing things that don't make sense to you anymore, or you all your life you've been doing things just because to make other people happy, and you totally forgotten who you are and what actually makes you happy. Those things happen, right? Um, but the thing is, we are the one who gives a meaning to those events. We are the one who gives a meaning to those events. Um, Life doesn't happen to us. Life just happens. May not always be the way we would like it to be. There's no doubt about that. But we give it a meaning. We're the one who give it the meaning that life is meaningless. We are the one who give the meaning that we have no control over it. Um, so when we think that the life is meaningless, we think there's no point in living, there's no purpose on it. Or a popular one is that if I don't find my purpose, I totally failed at life. It would be a waste of a lifetime. And sometimes we also judge the things, like I said earlier, we judge the things that happens to us, thinking that it shouldn't happen. And like I said, life just happens. And though those things happen, we give meaning to it, and then we ruminate all those bad, ruminate. And if you ask somebody that is depressed, how many hours in a day they get drive themselves crazy with their thoughts, where they're thinking. It would be probably most of their waking hours. Or if you ask them um, how many hours or how many minutes, or to the point, did they feel at peace and quiet? It would be interesting. It would be interesting. Because the fact is, we drive ourselves crazy with all those thoughts. Now we ruminate all the bad things. We remember all those kind of essays. We like I doesn't do me at all, but sometimes, and we ruminate and we ruminate and we ruminate, and then we feel bad, and we think that it means something, and we think we get caught up in the content of those thinking. That's mostly the problem. We get caught up in the content of those things, the, of those things. Not what we think, is the fact that we think, and we get caught up in the thinking. Meaning, like I said, it means something, and then it brings a feeling. Like I said, it's not the fact that it's just the fact that we think, and we get caught up in the content, and the content is irrelevant, right? Things from the past are the past. Future doesn't exist. Don't have to be like we're going to think that's, but we don't have to get caught up in the content of those thinking. Because the fact that you think and you're worried, and then there's some people that said that they're depressed. Some people sleep too much and some people don't sleep enough. And for the people that don't sleep enough, often is that because they're thinking, they think, and they think all those thinkings, all problems that are without resolution. There's no solution to those problems. And the brain doesn't like that. So when you fall asleep at night, um, the brain would like to close all the loops that you open during the daytime. It will it will give you more dreams, even though those dreams are all over the place, don't make any sense. It's just a way of the brain to close all the loops that you're open during the day with all your rumination or your worrying. And the thing is, while you have all those crazy dreams, the rest of the body doesn't know it's only a dream. So all those stress hormone are popped up, popped up in your body. And when you have more dreams, that means also that you have less of that deep, restful sleep. So when you wake up in the morning, you're more tired than when you fall asleep at night. And then what you when you're tired? Well, you think up some more stuff and more stuff and the spirals starts and goes down. Like I said, we have no control about what what we think. What we have the control about is to entertain it or not. Don't have to be caught up in the thinking. Just can it's just an indication of where the direction of our thinking is taking. So we don't have to look at the content. We don't have to judge the content. We don't have to analyze the content. It's just realize that yes, we think, and that's it, right? Have to be caught up. And when this, you get caught up in it, is oh, what am I doing now? Yes, I cannot do anything about it. I cannot predict the future, but right here, right now, I'm some people find that taking omega-3s helps them, helps with humor. Some research seems to um, collaborate that taking omega-3s does help. Now, our brain is a big ball of fat in a sense, and we cannot get omega-3s from us. We cannot manufacture omega-3s. We have to take it from our foods. Problems with the nowadays foods doesn't have as much omega-3s. Now, cows that are raised on corn instead of raising on grass has changed the composition of the meat and their fat. Salmon that is farm raised instead of wild caught. Well, the farm raised will have very little omega-3s. So we have to take it from the outside from outside and make sure that we have the supplement of the omega-3s. It may take 5 or 6 weeks before it kicks in, before the blood concentration is enough. But it does have an impact. Same thing with vitamin D. No, I live in Canada, so in January we don't cannot go in the sun, and apparently it does have an impact on lots of things. Humor, anxiety, uh, apparently might have also have a protective effect on COVID or the severity of the symptom of COVID. So lots of research seems to think that vitamin D also, especially in this time of the year for people that have seasonal depression, has a positive impact. So not the 400 units that the dietitian likes to recommend, but apparently over 2,000, at least 2,000 per day. Personally, I take 4 to 6, depending. But when you take those high doses, you have to take it with the vitamin K2, Why? Because K2 helps the vitamin D to be better absorbed, and also make sure that it's absorbed at the right places. You don't want to calcify your arteries. You want it to go at the right place. So some research do seem to think that those two things will have an impact on humor, not your humor, but on your the way you feel. So nothing to lose in trying those things. But I think there's better bang for the bucks when you look at your thinking and says, oh, here you go, here I go again. Not to judge yourself. No, oh, I caused myself to be depressed. I don't want it to be a self judgment. No, you didn't know. You just didn't know. No, we're raised that when somebody says, "Oh, I'm anxious or I'm depressed," people will say, "Oh, what's happening?" No, we're raised by trying to find a cause outside of us that make us feel a certain way. But when we realize that it's an inside job, nothing can make you feel a certain way, and that the fact that we think is just a fact. We have 60,000 thoughts per day. So it says we're going to think stuff, but we don't have to take it so seriously. You don't have to get caught up in the content of it. That will bring you back more to the present. Hopefully, it will help you. So that's what I had to tell you today. And on that, have a good week. Cheers.